Alright, in today's video, I'm going to show you in 4 steps how to submit an E2 visa application. This video is more specifically for Canadians applying for the E2 visa at the US consulate in Toronto. But even if you're not Canadian, this video will still be very helpful because the process is pretty much the same for most countries. First thing to remember, when applying for the E2 visa, there are 2 parts to the process. First is the investment, second is the submission process. Today, we're just focusing on how to submit the E2 application. Alright, let's get started. Step 1 of the submission process is to submit the DS-160. The DS-160 is an online application used to apply for a non-immigrant visa. For example, this form is used when applying for an E2 visa, tourist visa, student visa, and other non-immigrant visas. This is a dynamic form with questions that change and adjust depending on your answers. So where do you find the DS-160 form? Well, it is online. Here it is. You'll see that in order to get started, you'll need to enter the country and city of where you're applying. For the E2 visa, you need to apply at your country of citizenship or legal residence. If you try to apply at a country outside your citizenship or legal residence, then you'll be applying as a third-party national, which is not always allowed. You could end up submitting your DS-160 to a country that may not even accept your application. So don't randomly choose a country just because you think it might be faster. Alright, so for Canadians, since this video is an example of how Canadians will submit their E2 application, we're going to select Toronto. As you can see, Canada actually has other US consulate locations, but E2 visa applicants are only allowed to apply in Toronto. The only exception is an E2 dependent spouse or child applying separately at a later time on their own. In that scenario, the E2 dependent can submit their application to another location in Canada. But historically, primary investor E2 applicants go through Toronto. Now, after you've selected a location, you'll enter this code, and then select Start an Application or Retrieve an Application. For our clients, since our office helps prepare the answers in the DS-160, our clients need to select Retrieve an Application and enter the application ID and password provided. Our clients do need to review the DS-160 form and then submit it themselves. Our office can only help prepare the DS-160 application. However, by law, the applicants must select the application on their own. As you can see right here, it actually indicates this. Each applicant, including the dependent family member applying as E2 dependents, do need to have a DS-160 online form for submission. Our office prepares these forms for our clients and all their dependents. When you do submit the DS-160, you'll see an option to print a confirmation. When you print it out, it looks something like this. Now, what you're going to do is take this DS-160 number because it's going to be applicable for step 2 of the submission process. Hey, by the way, if this video has been helpful so far, please do give us a like and subscribe so that you can be updated with more E2 visa information. Great, now that we've got a DS-160 confirmation number, it's possible to move on to step 2, which is to register an account with the U.S. Department of State Visa Appointment Services. Okay, a quick and very important note. This particular webpage is specific for registering in Canada. Each country is going to have its own different website for registering an account with the U.S. Department of State. For the purpose of this video, we're using Canada as an example. Registering an account here has 3 main purposes. 1, to pay the visa fee. 2, to provide an address for the return of your passport. And 3, to schedule a visa interview date. Hold on, we're actually not scheduling a visa interview date here in step 2. This will be later, so hang on tight. When registering the account, this is also where that DS-160 number is input that was obtained during step 1. So after registering the account, paying the visa fee, and entering the mailing address for passport delivery, there's an option to print the visa fee receipt confirmation and instructions for E2 processing. For our clients, we instruct them to email us these items so that we can help prepare for step 3, which is the submission of the E2 application. Now we're at step 3 of the submission process, which is the actual submission of the E2 application. This consists of Form DS-156E along with supporting documents. The DS-156E is a non-immigrant visa application form. It consists of information about the business such as employees, investment amount, expenses, and the job duties. This form is only 3 pages and it looks deceptively simple to fill out, but a lot of pre-work and due diligence needs to be done in advance before this form can be correctly completed and submitted. All the pre-work and due diligence is done during the investment process, which we guide clients through. When the DS-156E form is completed, supporting documents are also organized and put together. A summary of the investment and investor's qualification will also be written out, and everything will be organized based on the consulate's specific instructions. Then, the E2 application is finally submitted. For the case of Canadians who are applying at the U.S. Consulate in Toronto, the application is submitted by email. Alright, we're finally at step 4. Here in step 4 is about scheduling the visa interview date. After submitting the E2 application, in step 3, you need to wait for the U.S. Consulate to review the application, which can take 4 to 10 weeks specifically for a U.S. Consulate in Toronto. Sometimes they'll take more depending on how busy they are. The length of time it takes for the review will depend on each consulate. After the review process is done, the consulate will email you with an invitation to go and schedule a visa interview. You're going to go into the account that was created in step 2, and you'll see that a calendar has been opened up. Then, before the day of the interview, if you've hired an E2 attorney, you should prepare for that meeting. For children who are under 14 years of age, they normally do not need to attend the visa interview. However, they must be physically present inside the country that they apply. For the purpose of this video, since we're talking about Canada, the children need to be inside Canada. After the visa interview, if approved, the officer will collect everybody's passports, and then it's going to take about 10 days for the E2 visa to be inserted into the passport and mailed back to the address that you selected in your account that was created in step 2. When you receive your passport back, check the E2 visa for the accuracy of the information on the visa. Then you're ready to enter when you're ready and get started on your business.
Thanks for watching our video. If you found it helpful, please consider liking, commenting, or subscribing.